No wonder they were beating them with rollers. They were like,
Yeah,
please
it's like,
don't get me.
You don't have time to like talk a kid through an issue. It's like,
right.
You get 5 seconds of my attention.
Yeah.
Bah!
Okay. No violence.
Hello and welcome back to the Croak and Crow podcast. This is Not Even. I am Spencer Cardia.
I am Merlin.
Merlin. I just watched King Arthur.
On Netflix?
Yeah. Did you?
No, but I heard about it because that movie's from 2017.
Yeah, it's older.
It did terrible.
Did it?
But it's doing great on Netflix.
Oh. Huh. It's interesting how that works.
Yeah.
Before we continue, this is Frank. You know him. You love him. But yeah, I had a lazy Sunday, and so I watched Green Street Hooligans.
Okay.
And King Arthur. Coincidentally, who both star the same actor.
Oh,
That
Guy
blonde,
Ritchie?
What?
Guy Ritchie?
I don't know. Like a blonde guy from Sons of Anarchy.
Is he English?
No,
Oh,
he's American.
Forget it.
But in Green Street Hooligans, he talked with an English accent. But anyway, I watched it. I liked it. I can kind of see why they didn't do good in the movies. It was like, you ever watch something with like the way if they film it and it's like this director or filmographer, whoever you call it, it's like they're trying to be different.
Oh yeah.
Like with like the fast scenes and like the panning.
Right.
And at one point they were all running and it almost felt like they were like all holding GoPros because it should be their face.
Oh, okay.
And it was just a lot of like little things that's like, was there just some cinematographer being like, I have a vision.
Right.
I'm not like the other guys.
Right.
I'm not like the other cinematographers.
Well, I mean, especially with the story that's been told so many times.
Yeah, but I mean, I liked it.
A lot of people are liking it. There's also King Arthur Flour, which I like because I can get it gluten-free.
A flower. I'm thinking a flower.
Oh, no. Flour.
Okay.
And they got such a resurgence last year from the pandemic. They were selling like so much more than they've ever sold before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it really made them
That's
bounce back.
Everyone was baking. Remember that?
Yeah.
Remember during the heat of the pandemic and every person and their mother was...
Well, it is a way to help depression.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone was depressed. Everyone was in their homes baking cakes.
Yeah. It's Wednesday, November 10th.
November 10th. Good day to be alive.
Yeah. It is it's Martinmas Eve.
What is that? Martinmas.
Well, yeah, Martinmas,
okay,
which
so
we've
it's
been learning
when
about.
St. Martin was born.
Right.
Tomorrow.
Right.
Yeah. Like Christ Mass Eve.
Yeah. And Mary Mass, which we learned.
Mary Mass.
Yeah. So you think, well, why are you telling me today? Just tell me tomorrow.
Yeah.
But a lot of people, okay, it's celebrated all over the world, not very much in America at all.
Oh, let me guess. South America.
No, everywhere. You're going to name places. I just said everywhere.
Everywhere but America.
No, some people celebrate. It just really, really fell out of fashion.
Okay.
St. Martin's Day is tomorrow, November 11th. November 11th has been overshadowed by Remembrance Day.
Of remembrance what?
The World War I allies who signed, I guess, the war's over.
Okay. The Treaty of Versailles.
The 11th day of the 11th month of the 11th hour.
Yes.
It's a whole thing, right?
Yeah. With Robert E. Lee.
No. World War I.
The Treaty of Versailles.
Stop it. You know World War I.
Yeah.
The allies
Germany,
against the...
Austria. Austrian prince was killed.
Spencer.
That's World War I.
World War I?
Was started over some Austrian prince, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Pretty sure.
Now that you're saying it, I'm like, what am I even thinking of? Who knows?
No, you're thinking of another thing.
Okay,
Like,
Armistice Day,
yeah.
Remembrance Day. We modern day people say that's what you're going to celebrate on November 11th. You wear the poppy, the little red circle flower.
Okay.
But it started out as Martinmas.
Oh,
And
so
it's-
Martinmas was like...
And they celebrated that on the so it's his funeral day. It's also called Funeral St. Martin.
Wait, funeral day?
Yeah, why?
That was his birthday.
No, it's his funeral day. Sorry, did you already say that?
Well, I thought the point of the mass.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know, but
Mary Mass is
it
her...
says Funeral of St. Martin. No, you're right. That's weird because it is his funeral, because they said he died and was buried 3 days later. It's also called Old Halloween.
Okay, they're just throwing a lot at me right now.
Because it's crazy. But
Yeah.
anyway, so St. Martin
St. Martin.
of Tours.
That's the church that we used to go to.
It's the person I'm talking about.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
St. Martin of Tours. And you're
Why was
correct.
he so special?
But you're correct. It is our church. It's where you were baptized,
Yeah.
and it's where I went to school. So what was so I always got mixed up about St. Martin of Tours, which I grew up. I went there for 8 years.
Yeah.
And the story of the guy. What is the parable of the? I get everyone else passed this poor man on the road, and
The Good Samaritan?
the Good Samaritan. I always thought he was the Good Samaritan because the story of St. Martin of Tours is that he had a cloak because he was a Roman soldier.
Okay.
And he saw someone who was cold. They both were cold. He was cold. They were cold. He ripped it in half and he gave it to the person who was cold.
Okay.
That night, St. Martin of Tours had a dream that Jesus was wearing the half cloak. And he said, "You clothed me."
So he was a good Roman.
Yeah, well, he
The
quit.
story of the good Roman.
Well, he quit the army and he became a priest.
Mm.
And he became, they wanted him to become a bishop of the French town of Tours.
Okay.
He was
A
Italian.
Roman soldier in France. They occupied France?
I don't
Sure.
know.
Let's just say they
But
did.
I mean, I think St. Patrick was from Italy as well, wasn't he?
Well, he's from England.
Oh, we did this before.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hate to make it confusing because it's not confusing. But supposedly he didn't want to be the bishop. So he hid in a barnyard or something. And like the geese were making a lot of noise.
Mood.
The geese.
I could see myself doing
Um,
that.
So he every year to celebrate Martinmas, you eat goose. Because it's like, why did they, do that to him?
Wait. So did they find him and say, you will be the bishop?
Yeah, he had to be the bishop. And he was very, very important to the way monasteries are in England, Scotland, and Wales.
Architecturally?
No, like I guess the setup of the and he was important to St. Patrick. He was before
Okay.
St. Martin of Tours. So it's funny because we have Martin in our family who's Italian, which St. Martin was Italian, but he's so important to Irish people.
Would you look at that? And our Martin is important to us.
Yes. But listen, I want to tell you something interesting else about St. Martin.
What else?
Okay. So they had that piece of cloak that he had, and they made relics.
What do they call it? Relics, yeah.
Made relics of it. And the king would literally take it into battle. He would it was so important. There was a special priest that was entrusted to care for this relic.
Yeah.
And he was called a capellanu. And however it turns into French translation, it becomes chaplain.
Like Charlie.
No, like chaplains now.
Yes.
A chaplain in the military.
Okay.
Military chaplain. This is all coming from St. Martin.
Oh, wow.
And listen even further.
Okay.
I'm just going down a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
The tiny little relics that they would give to churches and so forth, they would make tiny little churches for it, and they would call it a capella, because it was a little cloak. And that became
a cappella?
no. Well, yeah, you're correct. But
Yeah.
before we get there, it became a chapel, right?
Okay.
Chaplain, chapel. This is all from that cloak.
Yeah.
You just said a cappella.
A cappella
So
group.
when I saw that, it said the little church is called a cappella, and I said, well, that's singing without music, right?
Yeah. Was what they do in a church?
That's what you do in a church.
That's it for our show, guys. Oh, man.
So tomorrow, Germany is very big for St. Martin Day. They're gonna you do lantern parades, and it's food. I also read some places that it's kind of like our Thanksgiving, like it's because it's this time of year.
This time of year, it needs to be a holiday.
It needs to be a holiday.
We like St. Martin.
Right.
That's combined.
Right.
Yes.
So it is. It's not St. Martin's Day. It's tomorrow, but this is a day to be celebrated in some places.
Yeah.
In
Well, hey.
St. Martin.
Hey.
But you're killing me now that Martinmas Eve. It's not his birthday tomorrow. It's his funeral.
I don't know. Maybe Mass is a celebration. I think we definitely learned what it was, like Latin-wise before.
Yeah.
But because it wasn't Mary's. Merrymas is not the Wait.
Yeah, it was her birthday.
Did she ascend or was she?
It was her birthday.
It was her birthday.
Yeah.
Just like Jesus.
Because we were unfamiliar with the date. Remember? Yeah. We're like, why is it all this?
Because you do celebrate.
Right.
In May, the Assumption?
Yeah. I don't know all the days, but yeah, there is.
That's a day in itself.
That's a day in itself.
And then it's like, what's Merrymas?
Right.
Birthday.
And there's even Candlemas, which is in February.
The birthdays of candles?
No, I think it's
a lot of candle holidays.
If only we had a candle podcast.
Oh, I love candles. I think
Spencer.
Wait. Oh man, the one lost podcast.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Wait, is it lost?
Yeah, that one's lost, isn't it?
Was the audio not recorded or the video not recorded? No, it had to have been the audio.
No, it was the video.
No, because there was the one video that
recently we did an audio only, but at that time you didn't want to. We do have an audio only.
Well, maybe if you guys are lucky, you'll get a candle.
No, I think you erased it.
No, that was Roots. Oh, God. Remember Roots?
Yeah,
and we recorded Roots. 5 minutes, and I said we're not doing this. We started over.
So to finish up, St. Martin Day in Ireland, it used to be pretty intense. You would bleed out the food of whatever you were going to be having, a goose or a pig or whatever, and you would take the blood and you would put it in the four corners of your house.
Ugh.
Put it over your door.
I'm glad that stopped.
Some even put a cross on your head.
I don't like that.
Like Ash Wednesday. And as for the school, St. Martin of Tours in Philadelphia, the little old nuns started it with 70 students. And at its peak, it had 2,749 students.
Wow.
Which would be about 46 students per one teacher, which is what I kind of remember from going there. I know.
46 for one teacher?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
My dad had like 60 or 80
for one teacher?
Yes.
That's a lecture hall.
And these are babies, like 8-year-olds, 6-year-olds.
I'd kind of like that, honestly.
No wonder they were beating them with rollers. They were like, please don't get me.
You don't have time to like talk a kid through an issue. It's like,
right.
You get 5 seconds of my attention.
Yeah.
Bah!
Okay. No violence.
You know what's funny? So now we've been doing this for over a year, and we talk about holidays a lot. It's one of our favorite things.
I know.
But we're getting to the point where we're passing holidays. Someone posted on Instagram, and it was like, Happy Cappuccino Day. And I remember last year, right when we started, that was one of the first times we brought up Cappuccino Day because we started talking about the Capuchin monks.
Right.
And so now I'm seeing them, but luckily, since we do Wednesday, Thursday, Friday podcasts, they'll all switch slightly.
Well, you don't want to hit the same one again, do you?
What? No.
Oh.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying like this happened yesterday because I think before we talked about it on a Wednesday, and you told me every year that the days just shift by one, which was news to me. I thought it was just like random assortment of the hat, but I guess it makes sense. I'm not going to try to figure the math out.
That'll be the calendar.
Calendar cast.
Calendar podcasts.
Calendar cast.
But today is not calendar day.
What is it?
One word Wednesday.
It's one word.
Okay.
It's one.
Not one take.
It's not one take. It is one word Wednesday, folks. I forgot I'm not wearing a hat. How embarrassing. Isn't there something biblical that like...
Cover your head. You can put your hood up, but it's probably too small.
No, actually, I bought this. Wait, no, this is too small.
It's not as small as some.
I
saw a cool one and it had the mask attached.
Oh.
So if you put the hood up, you had the mask. It was like a college sweatshirt.
Yeah, it's kind of like weird, like so. But then you're wearing like a hood indoors.
It was for football games or what? You know when you couldn't go because they would say you have to wear masks.
And you'd say okay, or like if you're running into the Wawa,
right, to
order.
Yeah.
And because a lot of times it happens to me, especially nowadays, because you know masks are pretty. You walk in one place and you're like, oh wait,
unsure.
We're still doing that. And where before, in the height of it, I had about 20, 30 masks in my car at once. And I'd look around. I would just close my eyes and grab.
I know, but not now.
Now, if I go... I was at the AutoZone, of all places. They needed masks. And I am rummaging through my car. And I'm like, not a single mask. You would think it was 2019. But yeah, it's One Word Wednesday. You know what it is. I'm not going to talk too much about it. We just pick a word and we look at some spiritual significance, spiritual metaphors. We live in an earth that is intertwined with spiritual ideas and beliefs, and there is spirituality all around us. And so we're just going to look at it.
Mm-hmm. Persistence.
Overcomes resistance.
Yeah. Persistence is the word.
Persistence. You know what they say? the squeaky wheel gets the rust. Squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Yeah. How's that persistence? Well, I guess the person
well, the idea of that is if you want something done, like say who's going to get a raise at work,
right? It's
the squeaky wheel gets gets grease.
No, you're right.
Squeaky wheel gets grease.
Would have been fine, yeah.
And it's the persistence. It's like you just keep on squeaking,
right?
And I like the word persistence.
Persistence. So persistence. What does persistence mean? It's some people not confuse it because they're kind of connected with perseverance, but persistence is to be persistent is
to keep doing something.
Yep, to continue firmly in an opinion or course of action in spite of difficulty, opposition, or failure.
Yes. Oh man, I could talk about persistence all day long. I love me some persistence. Persistence changed my life. I wasn't joking.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Persistence changed my life, folks, and I'll tell you why. Sometimes we think that we are living, or what is it like? Life is happening to us, right? It's like, oh yeah, if I got a different deck of cards, I would be a poker winner. I don't know these sayings.
Yeah, I know.
These kids say these days, but the quicker you learn about discipline and persistence, it is an eye-opening thing. It's what creates change is persistence. Nothing else will create. You might be waiting for a day that something will change on its own. It's always persistence. And so why I said it changed my life is back when I was early in college, I was a lazy bag of bones. I'm just kidding. I wasn't lazy, but I was the definition of life was happening to me.
Okay.
It was, where am I going to college? Okay, what am I learning? Yada, yada.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, it'd be great if I was in shape. It'd be great. And so, yada, 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 yada. It all started when I decided to clean my room.
Okay.
No, it didn't. It started when I worked out. Wait, which one came first, the chicken or the egg? Something taught me something else. Okay, I started working out.
Okay.
That's what happened. So I was like, I'm going to finally start working out. You can watch the working out podcast for the long division of this. My analogies are crazy today. But why I originally started going, that never would have stayed, for the guns and the glory. And what instead happened is I was seeing growth, and it was the persistence that I needed. So it wasn't about going to the gym and having one hurrah a day. You needed persistence, doing something over and over and over again, not really feeling anything change. And then over time, you see the growth.
Right.
And then I started changing that in other aspects of my life. My room was a mess. It was a mess, I tell you.
Right.
And I was using that, like I realized what persistence is. And I'm like, it's not about like having things change instantaneously. I'm like, if every day I take more things out of my room than I put in, math says it's going to be clean eventually.
Yeah.
Boom, it happens.
Right.
And it's like, wow, sticking to something, not seeing any results or not seeing anything change eventually leads to change. And I'm saying persistence in a very literal sense where it's you're actually doing an action.
Right. Yeah, I was just thinking of that. Go ahead.
But I feel like where persistence is more important is for the non-actually physical actions. And like one, we can talk about spirituality persistence, but we'll save that for the end. But for I think anything in dealing with other people, trying to make yourself successful, or if you want to be in a relationship or anything, it's this persistence, and not like don't go knocking on your neighbor Sally's door every day and say, "Will you date me yet? Will you date me yet?" That's not what we're saying.
Let me ask two questions. The first one is there are two questions. So when you said it's like an action. Because when you were speaking, I was thinking, so I'm guessing persistence and patience walk together.
Yes.
Right? But patience isn't so much an action as a state of being, where persistence is doing. But
Yes.
what I wanted to ask you, what you just said, don't knock on someone's door. This is I saw a quote and I was like, oh, is persistence not always good? Because it said, never let your persistence and passion turn into stubbornness and ignorance. So those two things is just patience with persistence. And also you said, don't persistently. Okay.
Yeah,
so tell me.
No, definitely. I mean, and because there is the saying that says persistence overcomes resistance.
Right.
And like, if we're talking in like a courting setting where like, you know, you're like, hey, I can be with Sally from down the street.
Right.
When you tell the person who's trying to court her, you say, hey, patience will overcome, or no, what is it? Persistence will overcome resistance.
Right.
Someone else will look at you and be like, whoa, dude.
Yeah.
What do you mean? And I think you have to be able to identify when there's arrogance to it. And it's like, well, I know.
And stubbornness.
Arrogance and stubbornness.
Yeah, stubbornness would probably be not realizing. There was this also, was it a real story or just a saying in Trinidad where the truck kept trying to go under the bridge and it kept hitting off the top, and then they would reverse, put the stuff back on, and let's try it again.
Yeah.
Let's try it again. You know, that had to be a fake story, I'm guessing.
Yeah. But in a way, look at that, and then we had another podcast on Thomas the Tank Engine. And, you know, imagine these are both things that are being delivered, and Thomas the Tank Engine, that's the definition of persistence, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
not Thomas, the little engine that could.
Yeah, sorry. Do you know why? It's because it was a trains podcast.
I know,
and I'm pretty sure on the thumbnail was Thomas the Tank Engine. And if it wasn't, I'm just going to put him on.
Okay.
Little engine that could, that's persistence. I think I can. I can. Chugging up the hill. Truck that's just slamming into the tunnel. Right. That's that stubbornness and arrogance where it's like, well, it's not even really being persistent anymore. But it's that hill that's the resistance.
Right.
And that's what we're talking about when we're talking about persistence overcomes resistance.
Right.
But yeah, no, I think persistence is very important. Just the sort of idea of just the stick-to-itiveness.
Yeah.
Of things where you want to, like, I was at the gym this morning actually, and with someone who doesn't work out frequently, and they were saying, how do you do, like because I'm helping them, and it was like, I am feeling the pain because we're doing this high intensity workouts. That's not important. What's important is we were done working out. The question was like, help me be able to enjoy this because I just want to quit halfway through, while it's happening halfway through. And I was trying to formulate why, like, because I'm trying to think in my head, and I'm like, what is it? What is it that because, and what I kind of got to the point is it, well, I didn't say the words, but it's persistence. It's being like, I might have a smile on my face, and so someone looking at a persistent person's like, I wish I had what they had, but it's like, I'm the little engine that could, and I'm on that mountain too. Like it's not down. And when I'm at the gym and I'm working hard, it's not downhill for me. And you're like, how can I make this feel like it's downhill for me? It's like, it's uphill for me, but I try to be more the tank engine.
Right.
I think I can. And what I said is, especially with working out, it's knowing that there's a top of the mountain.
Yeah.
And it's like pushing for that. And I think it's good habits to get into, to put yourself in.
Well, we just did a doubt podcast.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing there are times though that persistence is what you lean on because you could doubt. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're saying, there's a top of the mountain, but to have persistence, I think you push through even the doubtful times.
Yes.
Like maybe I won't get so much faster for my marathon speed or whatever.
Yeah.
But just persistently, I don't care. I'm still going to do it.
Yeah. No, there's this image that I hope I'm able to find it. And it's just like one of these like newspaper drawings. Mm-hmm. And it's like two guys or no, it might just be the one guy actually. Yeah. It's just the one guy. And so it's this like tunnel and he has a pickaxe and he's like digging through it. And then you see him turn around walking away. And since you're seeing a sort of as if they chopped the tunnel in half. So,
right.
And like about 1 foot away from where he stopped is a bunch of diamonds on the other side. And it's that idea of even though it's like I don't know where the end is.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah.
And hey, I mean, now with 5 minutes left, let's bring it into spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
What keeps you persistent is faith.
Yeah.
And it's the faith that there are diamonds on the other side of whatever you're doing.
Right.
Is what keeps you going. And I guess that's what I was trying to explain today at the gym. It's like, well, I have faith that I'm gonna, get more in shape, or with anything. It's when you have that faith, it's easier to be persistent. And when you don't have that faith, when it's like, I'm never gonna get in shape, then there's no way for you to be persistent in the gym. If you don't have the faith that you are able to get, or that you're worth getting a raise at your job, you're not going to be persistent, because why would you? It's like, well, I'm not even good enough. And it's like, then are you going to be the one who's asking to meet with your boss every day? Right. And it's like, hey, remember we talked about that race? Remember we talked about that race? And it's like, there's a faith that needs to be had to be persistent. And now talking about faith, let's talk about persistence and faith. What's the thing I want to talk about when it comes to persistency?
Well, I don't know. I thought, I just wanted to say one more thing, and you can fix this. You can fix this. You can cut this. Just quickly, so we had the two opposing thoughts of like, stay persistent. It's going to work. You got to do it. But then we were like, well, don't be crazy and don't keep trying to get underneath the bridge. And it put me in mind of the AA prayer, the wisdom to know the difference. So like, if you're doing something that isn't hurting you, so like I said, say you're at the gym, what you're talking about, and you're trying to pick up a heavier weight or whatever. Yeah. You can persistently try to pick up that heavier weight, because even if you never get to the higher weight, you are not hurting yourself in the process. You're helping yourself in the process. So that's one thing. But did you want the Bible? I have one Bible verse. What were you going to?
Well, we'll get back to the...
I don't know where you were taking me.
Sorry. But no, 100% agree. I think the serenity prayer is great with persistence. I mean, it's that idea of, the courage to... we always...
I know.
The
don't
courage
even try,
to change what I can. Or no, give me the serenity to
You're going to try to say the whole thing?
Give me this... grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Oh, that was easy.
Get at me.
Okay.
And I mean, that's like, in a way, is persistence. Like, allow me to be persistent in what I can change. Right. Allow me to understand Sally doesn't want to go out with me. Right. And give me the wisdom.
So that's a perfect way to bring all that together.
And give me the wisdom to know the difference. Right. Back to the spirituality, faith, prayer.
Persistent in prayer.
Persistence in prayer, I think, is so important. It's a lot of peace.
Absolutely.
Because we've talked about it a million times. We might have even used the word persistence, but prayer should always be a constant, and it's not a one shot go. It's the persistence and literal faith. Right. That is what makes prayer so powerful, I think. Yeah. And and I think a lot of people, in a way, gratitude. I think we had a gratitude podcast. I don't know. We probably should have. But I think even sometimes when our prayers are answered, maybe our gratitude is lost on the prayer because of our lack of persistence for praying it. Right. It's like when you don't have this persistence, like, I hope I get the new job. I hope I get the new job. And then one night you're like, I hope I get the new job. 2 weeks later, you get a call from the job. You don't even remember that you prayed for it. And then it's like, oh, I did this on my own. Solo dolo.
Persistently doing anything. So persistently being at the gym, persistently painting or writing if you're in that industry, makes it easier.
It makes it easier.
So a lot of people are like, I don't want to pray because I don't want to pray because I don't know how to pray. Yeah. It's hard and I never learned prayers. But if you get in this habit of like brushing your teeth for a few minutes, praying for a few minutes, the persistence of doing it all the time allows it to be right there when you need it,
Yeah, no, 100%. I do think just for a relationship with God, the persistence is big. And not to bring this up to always back to the gym, but like what you just said, I work out a lot. And so like on Sunday, for example, I woke up and I was tired, and my friend hit me up to go work out, and I just run over to the gym. It's like nothing for me at this point, like, because I'm so used to it. Where, say, this friend that I brought, I'm starting to help work out, is still a little nervous to even go to the gym on their own, because it's like oh, I don't know, like I don't really know what I'm doing. And it's that comfortability in anything,
right,
that makes you stronger in it.
Right.
And I think the relationship with God, it's very important to have a comfortability. We talked about being what would we call it? Like a spiritually passive?
Yeah.
Or no, passive spirituality. Where
I remember.
Just that idea of making a point of just having casual conversations in, like casual prayers throughout the day, rather than like, okay, here we go, prayer time.
Right.
10 minutes. I need to make sure I say the Our Father, the Hail Mary,
right.
The I was about to say the Assassin's Creed, but the Apostles' Creed.
Yeah.
And
you'll miss it. I'm sure if you don't go to the gym, you miss it, and not out of a guilty way, but out of a like, something's missing. I want it to go.
Yeah, you feel good after. And I mean, same thing with spiritual persistence, but
for persistence, I have Romans 2:7. To those who by persistence in doing good seek glory, honor, and immortality, he will give eternal life.
It's all about persistence, guys. That's One Word Wednesday. We could have talked about this.
We're using persistence by doing this podcast.
Yeah, this podcast is persistence. Not every day is it easy.
No.
But we enjoy the journey. We enjoy the persistency. And even in
that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, we enjoy the persistency, and I think that's a good way to put it. Is where today it might have been really hard for us to film this podcast, but next week we're going to be happy that we were persistent and didn't miss any days this past week. So enjoy the persistency, be persistent, have faith.
Happy Martinmas.
Happy Martinmas. Have faith in yourself. Have faith in the Lord. Be persistent in all things good, and don't be stubborn. And if ever you're trying to figure out the difference, the old
Serenity Prayer.
Serenity Prayer. You don't just need to be an AA to read the Serenity Prayer on a daily basis. That's it for the show. We'll be back tomorrow. Walk through Thursday. Peace.